Hello. So this is a Dell Latitude D830, and this fucking thing is huge. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this monster. It's got all the ports you could ever want, even an S-video out, a modem. This drive is, yeah, you just yank it out. Pretty cool. Same with the hard drive. Just got an SSD in there with some little rubber things I just taped on there. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, Core 2 Duo, and I don't know if you can see that. It's supposed to run Vista Business. So we're going to put Vista on here. It actually doesn't officially support Windows 7 at all, but it does support Windows 2000, so how about that? But I figured we could make an audit image that we can, I'm going to clone it with Clonezilla, but this is something you guys could follow if you ever wanted to image Windows Vista. This is my boot media. We're going to use Ventoy, and I just have a Retail Service Pack 2 Vista ISO on here. And this thing has like 1,000 USB ports, so no worries about that. Boot it up. I'm going to plug in the charger while I'm thinking about it. Hit F12. Working battery. I got this pretty much brand new. Lucky me. It was just kind of sitting. So we're going to boot the USB. There we go. We're going to boot Windows Vista in normal mode. Yeah, there it goes. In the BIOS, we also switched from ATA to AHCI mode. Otherwise, I don't think this would boot. We're going to skip product key for now, and I'll explain why later. I'm going to install Ultimate. That is absolutely the version I have purchased. Accept. Do a custom. We're just going to delete what's here. Okay. And then here's what I like to do for Clonezilla. That's the cloning software I use. I like to make a 30 gigabyte, so that's 30720 partition. And then that's going to be a 30 gigabyte NTFS partition. We can just rip the whole disk, and then it can be cloned onto pretty much anything you want. And then you can just expand the NTFS partition with gparted or something if you really need to. Then hit next. And it's going to start installing. It should be pretty fast from this SD card. Like, significantly faster and quieter. But this should only take like, yeah, it's already done copying files. It's only going to take like 10 minutes. Oh, we hit 50. Time for a Pepsi break. Alright, so we're almost done expanding files anyway, and then it's going to go into the first reboot, I think. Fun fact about Vista, this was the first thing I ever pirated. It's the first thing I ever torrented. I didn't even know what a torrent was back then. And then I was like, hey guys, my friends was like, you guys want to install Vista? And they were like, no man, my dad's going to wonder how I got it. I'm like, oh shit. He's right. My mom's going to wonder how I got Vista, but then I realized my mom didn't know what Vista was. So we're good, but you know, it's kind of a nostalgic thing still to watch this install screen. It's going by a lot quicker than back then, I'll tell you that much. Okay, we should be at first reboot just about now. Yes, we are. I'm gonna restart her. I'm pretty sure this is a Vista exclusive screen here, where it says, please wait while Windows sets up your computer. You can kind of tell it was a transitionary period from the old XP days. It's kind of cool. It went a bit overboard with some other features though, and I'll get into that as we complete the installation. It's still going to take a minute or two. Okay, so it looks like installation's just about complete. So as soon as you hit this screen, you're going to want to hit Control Shift and F3 at the same time, and then it's going to take you into audit mode. And what audit mode is, it's like a Windows desktop that you can install drivers on, programs on, do whatever you want, and then reseal Windows so it goes back to the out-of-box experience. So it should boot right into the admin account. Yep, that's the login sound. Okay, so I'm gonna plug in a mouse. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. So now that we're in audit mode, first thing I'm going to do is focus on drivers. And I have that Ventoy USB is exFAT, so Windows Vista can recognize that. So I just have some stuff on here to manage drivers, and whoopsies. There are some from the Dell website that don't install through the automated thing I have, so we have to install those first. So I'm going to do that. Alright, that's the modem. We're going to do sound next. Make sure you run driver installers as admin. A lot of these early ones don't really account for extracting them and running them outside of the Dell installer, which is what I did here because I didn't want to bother with all that. Just could install them straight off the external media. It's a lot easier. So sound was working, but this is an updated sound driver. Okay, I'm gonna restart. After I get Bluetooth, this one takes a minute. Now Windows 7, at least on this computer, we don't want to install this Bluetooth driver. The built-in Windows drivers actually work better. Because if you install the Vista Bluetooth drivers in 7, you get a phantom Toshiba Bluetooth device that just doesn't fucking exist, which is interesting. I learned that kind of the hard way. So every time you install this particular Bluetooth driver, it feels the need to reflash the Dell Bluetooth chip, which is fine, do whatever you want. But it just takes a minute. This is another Pepsi break. Alright, that finished up. We are not going to restart yet, so to get the rest of the drivers, I use this utility called SDIO. We're going to run the 64-bit version. I have all of the drivers saved offline on this external media, and it doesn't use internet. What it does is it detects what drivers we need, what drivers it has, and it'll install them for us, which is really fucking convenient. Something I forgot to mention, let me actually close out of this. When you're in audit mode, you can go ahead and right-click computer and go to Properties, go to System Protection, and turn off System Restore. That'll delete all System Restore points and prevent it from making new ones while you're in audit mode, which is really handy because you're not going to use System Restore when you're using audit mode. You can turn it back on when you seal the system back up. So anyway, let's open this. It's going to show us what we need to install. I'm going to select all. This has issues with the Bluetooth and sound on this particular computer, which is why I installed those manually, but all of these installed just fine, so we're going to actually install those now. And this is going to take a minute. But after we do this, we're going to have working video, we're going to have working everything else. would be perfect, including Wi-Fi, networking. The touchpad drivers are actually a lot better too than the Windows built-in ones. I was just looking for my phone, and it's right now it's you. You're my phone right now. I'm not used to that. Oh, so we're done. And it sees that Bluetooth module. We're not going to worry about it because we haven't even restarted yet. So now that's actually what we're going to do. Don't use this, just ignore this window. If this is your first time in audit mode, just pretend it's not there. As long as you don't interact with it, it's just going to stay in audit mode every restart. So that's what we want. So we're just going to reboot. Okay. So it's going to immediately ask us to restart because it's going to detect that we have, well, it has our storage controller driver, so it's going to detect our actual storage device, and it's going to say, hey, we just figured that out. Can you restart? It's going to set the resolution, turn arrow on, and then say yes. Okay, so I'm going to connect to a network real quick. We right click this and wait a respectable amount of time. Do that. Because now we have Wi-Fi drivers. So I'm just going to connect to my network here. And when you're in audit mode, networking is kind of weird. It doesn't necessarily work very well, but it works. So it's going to say it can't connect, but it will connect. Yeah, so we're just going to close that. And we're going to open Windows Update here and see what happens just out of the box. So I always like to set it to check, but let me choose when to download and install. I was going to try to check for updates. I guess I should prove we're actually connected here. Type. Yeah, so we're fine. We are fine. But we're getting this error because Microsoft doesn't actually have update servers anymore. So how do we fix that? I have also looked into this. It turns out if you run Legacy Update, which is the best way to go about updates for Windows Vista at this point, if you run it in audit mode, it completely fucking breaks everything. So luckily it's open source, so we were able to figure out how to go around that and inject it in audit mode and then use Windows Update in audit mode. So basically what we have to do, we have to install these 5 updates here. These ones right here. And then we have to install the update certificate and also change our registry settings to make it so we use legacy update servers to check for updates. So what we're going to do is install these. And then once we install these 5 updates, we're going to restart. And then we'll be able to check for updates after we do these 2 things as well. Okay, so I've installed these 5 updates. I'm just going to set up the registry now by double-clicking and running this. And then to set up the certificate, I like to just copy it into the C drive, because that's easy to navigate to. And then I have this command right here that I just copy, Control C that, type in CMD in the start. I'm going to run that as admin. Then just paste that in here, enter, and it'll say it completed successfully. That means you're golden. So now we can restart. And it should work. We should be able to use Windows Update now. Alright, so it might not have saved our network, so we're going to have to reconnect. Alright, we're probably connected at this point, so I'm just going to hit check for updates. And hey, there it goes. So it's informing us that we need to install the new update feature to actually get updates working, which is from the legacy update servers. So we're going to do that. And it might ask us to restart. or it might just immediately go and check for way more updates, which will take a fucking eternity, but it'll work. Just closed out. Let's open that back up. It might have not wanted me to do that. Okay, yeah, we have to restart, so we're gonna do that. And then we should be able to do the big check, the big boy check. I guess I should point out, you don't have to set up updates or legacy update or anything. You could just finish audit mode as soon as you get drivers going and then image that and use that as a base recovery image. I just like to get it out of the way now because it does take like 4 hours to install updates for Windows Vista entirely. It takes a really long time, and doing it once and then just imaging that partition and then using that for the rest of eternity is kind of the route I would like to go. So, but if you ever do want to seal this image, just set this to shutdown, hit OK, and then just take the hard drive out or keep it in if you want to keep it in the computer and image that. And then that's your out-of-box experience image, but we'll do that later. We're actually going to continue updating here. Oh, we need to connect to the network again. Looks like it connected. Oh, did we not connect? Hey. I guess I can't close out of that window, huh? Okay, so I think it's probably connected by now. Yes, it says connection unsuccessful, but that's just because we're in audit mode. Should be working fine. And we should be doing the big update check now. This is going to take, like, for fucking ever. And then installing them is going to take even longer. But, yeah, this should work. Legacy update and everything should be working. If you do want to install Legacy Update to have like the web UI and everything, and the option in the menu for it, you can just run the executable in your installed Vista like environment. But in audit mode, it just doesn't work. It tries to create a new user account, and audit mode really doesn't fucking like that. So this is the only way to get it to work if you want an out-of-box experience that's fully updated. So I was sitting here thinking for a minute, it's actually not the only way. You could inject the updates manually into the ISO one by one, which would take an eternity, but you could technically do that. You could also download them and just install them in audit mode manually as well, which that would probably take even longer. Probably. This is the most convenient way. And there's probably a way to inject this into an ISO itself to make it so. And I know you can inject updates, so you can inject those 5 updates pretty easily. It's just a matter of the registry edit and the certificate. But this is seemingly working. If you're looking at this and saying it just says checking for updates, and it said checking for updates for the past hour and a half, I don't know if this is even working. Well, if it's not complaining, that means it is actually checking for updates most of the time. And you can also check your hard drive activity. Like, can you see that? No, you can't. Here. You see that thing? The thing's going nuts. It's going crazy. And you can also... Let me sit back down. You can also open Task Manager and look at your performance thing. I don't know. If I had to guess... I want to say this will be done checking at 7:12. We'll see if I'm right. So I was wrong. It finished pretty quick, actually. And it's working. Look at all this. You got all these updates. You're going to want to install pretty much all the optional updates too. Ultimate extras are here. You can install DreamSync. You can install Sound and Tinker and all this shit. BitLocker, no thanks. Yeah, you got drivers for mouse and other stuff. Yeah, it's all working. Even language packs. So, install all the updates you want and need, and then you're going to restart, and then you're going to check again, and then you're going to restart, and then you're going to check again, and you're going to keep that up for a while. And if you made a 30 gigabyte partition, that should be enough space to install every single update available and restart and all that shit. This will have plenty of space left, probably about 10 gigabytes or so. And then eventually we're going to be ready to actually seal the image for cloning. So I'm going to install these, we're going to reboot a bunch, and then we're going to get back to the audit stuff. Hello, so this is totally in order. I forgot to cover activation. So basically, offline activation works when your computer was, generally if it's like a computer that was released by a manufacturer or something, it will have some sort of key built into the BIOS that's like, hey, activate. And as long as you have the right things set up, it will activate for you. So all you have to do is create this folder called scripts in a certain folder in audit mode, which we are in. We're in audit mode still. After installing all the updates and everything, you can see it takes up quite a bit more space once you do that. But we're just going to go to Windows under the C drive, and we're going to go to Setup. Then we're going to create this folder called Scripts, and inside the Scripts folder, we're going to, there we go. So you're going to need a xrm-ms file for the manufacturer of the computer you're installing Windows on, and then you're going to have to make this setupcomplete.cmd file that will install based off that file, and then a OEM key, and you can find OEM keys for Vista everywhere, but as long as it's an OEM key matching the version you're installing, you're going to be golden. You can even use like a Toshiba or Lenovo one or something, and it would still work for this Dell file, but you need this file, and it needs to look at your BIOS key, I think anyway, to be like, okay, this all checks out. Because, for example, this computer never was officially supported on Windows 7, so this doesn't work for Windows 7, but it does work for Windows Vista. So you just need to make sure those files are in this folder, and when you go through the installation process, it'll still ask for a product key. You can just hit enter on that, just don't put anything in, and as soon as you get to desktop, you will be activated. It will say you're genuine when you right-click computer, go to properties. It won't right now, but when you boot to desktop after an out-of-box experience, it will, as long as you have those files there when you exit audit mode. And don't forget to do that. Just do one of these, boom, bang, bong, you're good. All right, back to normal, whatever I was doing before. Okay, so we should have every update installed now. I just reconnected and I'm doing a check, but I'm going to go over some things about audit mode that you want to clean up after we're done doing all this. So first thing, you want to go into your C drive, go ahead and go into Windows and go into software distribution, and then go into download. Delete everything in here, just hit Control A. Well, hang on. Okay, yeah, so we're done updating, we got everything. So yeah, go ahead and Control A and just go ahead and shift right click and then click delete, and then you can permanently delete it. And we're going to do the same thing for the temp directory under Windows. Control A, delete everything in here. You're going to go to users, administrator, and just up here add a backslash app data, and then go to local temp. And this file won't want to delete, but we're just going to Control A and shift right click, delete. No, I was holding Control, my bad. Holy shit. There we go. I am so okay right now, don't worry about me. There we go. Yes. Yes. And like I said, this one won't want to delete. I'm going to show you that it won't want to delete. Yep. So just cancel on that one. It'll be okay. And then we're going to want to run a defrag. You might say, you're on an SSD, why would you do that? Because if you put this on a hard drive, you don't want the image to be messy. We just installed a ton of updates, messed with a lot of system files, so we're just gonna run a defrag real quick. While that's running, there should be a way to manage our networks. Yes, manage wireless networks. If you have anything in here, delete them, otherwise they'll be saved for a fresh install, which might be convenient for you, but if you're giving the computer away, that's not convenient. So make sure you delete anything in there. Alright, that finished. So we're gonna close out of that. Got really one more thing to do. We're gonna type in event. We're gonna open event viewer. We're gonna go click this arrow here, right click each one of these, hit clear log. This is gonna be a fresh install. There we go. Okay, that should be about it. You can install whatever software you want. Like if you wanted to install Microsoft Office for your image, you could do that. I always like to do that post-install, so it's whatever you want. But at this point, we're ready to image the actual system. So here's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna hit shutdown on this, so then the computer doesn't reboot right into the out-of-box experience. And then you're just gonna hit OK. System's gonna shut down, and it's gonna be completely shut down, and you can do whatever you want from there. So that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna do some cleanup. You could also run disk cleanup before you shut down. It's up to you. We kind of manually did it, but you could also do that. So at this point, we're going to image to the hard drive, and you might say, why don't we do it on the Dell itself? Because it's kind of inhibited by its I/O speed. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to that far back. There we go. I'm going to pull the hard drive out, just like that, and we're going to boot this into Clonezilla on my framework, because that is not limited by the I/O speed at all. The SD is my storage, the thing dangling off the side is the boot drive, because Clonezilla doesn't like it when you use the boot drive for storage for images for some reason. So anyway, there we go. Boot from SanDisk, Clonezilla. The text is going to be kind of tiny, and there's not really much I can do about that. It's going to ask for your language. It's going to ask you something else. I don't know really what that said. You're just going to hit enter a bunch because it feels good. And then Control C if you see the devices you need, which I did. And you're going to pick the partition that you're going to store images on or restore them from, which is this for me. I'm not going to bother checking the disk. It's in this folder. When you're in the folder with the images, just hit done, hit enter. I don't care about time. Time isn't real. Beginner mode because I'm a baby. We're going to save disk. And we can call it whatever we want. I'm just going to leave that because I already have an audit mode thing that or an out of box image, but this is just going to be a test run, and we're going to see how that works when we're done here. So I'm just going to hit enter because I'm okay with that name. We're going to pick the disk we're actually saving. This is the one for us. Enter. Standard compression. Yeah, skip repairing. I don't care about checking the saved image. We don't need to encrypt it. I don't care about logs. And then when we're done, we're just going to shut down. I'll ask, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Enter. And this will take probably 52 seconds, somewhere around there. It's going to take longer than that. Oh, hey, you can actually read that now. That's kind of handy. So this will finish pretty quick, and then we'll have a image we can just turn into an ISO. We can do whatever we want with, really. And that can be our restore medium for this laptop now. I just realized I didn't cover activation, and I'm gonna have to like slide that in somewhere in the middle of this, but that's okay. Listen. So I like the grape. They're really good when you mix them with the lemon. It's a good combo. Oof, got another. Look at that. It's good. The grape by itself is good. The lemon by itself isn't as good as the grape by itself. No, so it's about done. It's gonna shut down because I told it to. The Pepsi's done. Hey, there it goes. Okay. It's gonna power up. Which is good, we want it to. Alright. So now that that's done, I'm not sure what just fell. Oh, it's the the fucking SATA thing. Just hit the thing. So now that's done. We've imaged this. So in theory, I could take this hard drive and swap it with the original hard drive that was in the laptop, this 80 gig SS or hard drive HDD, and it should work perfectly fine. And since we defragmented and everything, it'll be nice and clean for this HDD. So let's try that out. A screwdriver. Can I do this on camera? I'm confident. If this is magnetic, I'm good. Okay, it is. Yeah. So it's kind of funny that this clearly doesn't need the things, but I put them on there anyway. Whereas this will most definitely need them, but it's not getting them because it never had them. And, you know, whatever. This will be fine. It's lucky I'm putting both screws in, to be honest. Oh. Oh, I didn't like that. There we go. Yeah, it's in there. It's in there. Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, boy, big boy. You ready to eat? That's a good boy. Okay. Now, where's my shit? What did I do with the, Oh, it's exactly where it was supposed to, of course. So I'm going to actually restore that image on the computer itself, just for fun. So to do that, I'm going to need to plug in this, but not right now. You'll see why in a sec. I'm going to plug in this as a boot device, because this also has Ventoy on it, and it has Clonezilla, so we're just going to boot into Clonezilla real quick. Clonezilla, What's going on, big guy? Hello? Forward. Onward. Is it checking the memory? Oh, that worked. USB. Clonezilla. Normal mode. Boop. So I'm gonna plug in. Ooh, I'm gonna go around you. There we go. I'm gonna plug in our storage. I meant to enter on that. There we go. What's going on? There it goes. That was weird. This is going to take a little longer to boot on the Latitude D830. Okay, English. We're going to just do the same thing we did last time. Just hit enter a bunch until you get to the screen. Make sure your devices are there. Hit Control C. Wait for it to pop up the screen. We're going to pick our storage device where we're keeping all of our images. I'm not going to check it. We're going to go into the directory with our images. Hit done. Hit enter. Hit no on time because time, remember, it's not real. Beginner. We're going to restore disk. And we're going to pick the image we just made. And so we're going to pick the disk we want to restore it to, and we're going to have to create it proportionally because the original disk was 250 gigabytes. So this way it'll fit the table onto our current 80 gigabyte hard drive from that SSD. So enter on that. Don't bother checking the image. I don't care about logs. And then we're going to power off when it's done. Hit enter. And then it's going to say, are you sure you want to nuke this drive? That drive? Yeah. This drive? Yeah. There it goes. I can hear that hard drive. So, fun story about this hard drive. I was copying, like, I think WindowsUpdate, like 60 gigabytes worth of drivers and shit. And I just needed a place to put it real quick while I copied some stuff around. And I let it do that overnight. Because I fell asleep and just kind of walked away from it on my laptop, which was on a couch. And the hard drive was just kind of nested between a cushion and the couch. And I woke up and checked it. And that shit was way too hot. Way too hot. And now we're gonna put Windows Vista on it. And it should work. Probably. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's fine. You guys know the box trees? Why don't they open like a normal box? Why don't they have two flaps and then you just close the flaps and they're good to go? Why is it like that? I hate the boxes for these. It's like you're already wrapped up. All these granolas are wrapped anyway. All these bars are already wrapped. Why do you care about the packaging being so impenetrable? People are gonna steal my granola bars. It's like, no, they're not. And if they are, you should put them in in your gun safe or something. See, my experience with Vista was really good. I pirated it, I installed it as an upgrade from XP, and then eventually I did a clean install of Vista. As a kid, I didn't even know how to install an operating system in the first place. Making a bootable ISO was the biggest hurdle of my life. But I did, I loved it. It ran perfectly on that old Dell I had. It was a single core Athlon, and it killed it. It probably had similar specs to this, just not dual core. And it was, AMD. But yeah, it sang with Vista. I think it came out a year before Vista came out, though, and that's why. Even though it was a budget computer back then, it was still a good XP computer, and it was an alright Vista computer. It could handle Aero and everything, even with the integrated graphics. Although eventually I did get a better graphics card. I just walked into Best Buy as a kid, and I was like, hey, I need a graphic card. I need more dedicated graphic. And they were like, alright. I think it was a 4550 or something. It was an ATI card. That played Stanley Parable perfectly. It glitched a little bit, but it was pretty good. Okay, so it seems to have worked. It's gonna reboot, or no, it's gonna shut down. Alright, so I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna break everything. I'm gonna pull this USB, so we don't need it anymore. Make sure this is actually still plugged in, goddamn. And it should boot the hard drive now. Oh, it's spinning up. Look at that. This is the image we just made off this. This little guy. Isn't that neat? These were rubber feet, and I just used the shit around the rubber feet, stuck it to this, keep it from wobbling. It's gonna take a little longer to boot from the hard drive, obviously. Okay, here we are. Now, fun fact. Even though we've sealed it and everything, if you hit Control Shift F3 again, you'll go back into audit mode and you can still fuck around and do stuff, but no, we're done. We're ready to actually set up Windows and see if it worked. So even though we set up activation, which I totally didn't forget to cover and didn't have to slip into the video randomly, you can just hit next on this and pretend it's not there, basically. Except that, okay, I'll use the trackpad. I'll do it. My name is Gamer. Gamert. My password is, we're not having one of those. Gamert PC, yeah. I'm gonna say ask me later about updates because we've installed everything already. That matters. It's my time zone. There we go. Now it's going to do the thing that I'm annoyed with the Vista setup that 7 kind of skips. It's the performance test. I'm sure there's a way to skip this with flags or something, or to set up an ISO to make it so it skips this, but in a standard out-of-the-box experience, you have to test the performance of the PC before you hit the desktop, so that's what we're doing. Oh, hey, it's done. So, hey, it worked. We're booted on a desktop. Everything seems to be hunky-dory. Just like a fresh install, let's go to Properties. And you can see if I go to System Protection, which now it'll prompt with UAC, that we still have restore points off because we never turned them back on in audit mode. But yeah, it's working. We have a working Vista install, and now our networking is actually like fully working because we're in a full install of Windows. So once it loads up here, we can connect to a network, and it'll actually work when we connect now. And I'll show that off real quick. That should be right. I really hope it was. Yeah. Yeah, and we can save it, and it'll actually save and connect automatically now. But everything's working. Let's check Windows Update to see if the update's actually stuck. Looks like it. We can still check for updates, obviously, so that's nice. But everything's working, and it's pretty cool to have a fully updated, we're on a hard drive, don't forget we're on a hard drive. Fully updated, driver-packed Vista image just ready to go for this computer that was literally built for Windows Vista. This poor hard drive. Guys, this poor hard drive. I'm just gonna do that one. Is it working? Are we playing a video? Oh, we sure are. Look at that. Wow. Now that's the oh, you see that? That's the ultimate experience. Let's just do stuff. I'm doing this while we're checking for updates. This computer's gonna explode. Hey, I have an idea. Let's see if the drivers are working, right? Oh, that's long enough. Okay, here. We're gonna do a slight move. I mean, that's the best we're gonna get, probably. Yeah. So this laptop has an S-video port, and I'm just gonna hit the button. Hard drive's still kind of having a spaz attack right now. It's frozen on Windows Media Center. Oh god. Yeah, it's... Ooh. It doesn't like anything I'm doing right now. I don't... Here, I'm just gonna go in Handycam. So... This is me moving the mouse right now. It's not very responsive. I don't really want to extend my desktop. I want to duplicate and mirror. Let's just apply that. Hit OK. We're gonna close out of this for a sec. Am I plugged in? What's going on? Hang on, is this on? I can only do so much with this tripod. I'm so sorry. We're on 5. 5 to 5. Yeah. This should be on. Okay, so it worked. Now, hopefully the hard drive stops spazzing out. So hang on here. Oh, I hit the button. It worked. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Wow, look at this. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure I hit mirror, but this is the only display we're getting right now. Oh boy. You guys wanna play a DVD? Here, let's see what we got. Overboard or Top Gun? Or... yeah. Now let's see if this works. So do we want I mean, deleted movie. Let's go deleted movie. Okay. You're in it now. Where's the button? We found the button. Something just fell. Is this SC? It's totally in the way. Yo! Oh, it's playing. Wow. Look at that. I got controls. Hello. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that was a button.
I said this to all of your things. For this is a robbery.
Oh, I can just move the mouse. Whoa. Okay, well that works. That's it. That's it. This got out of hand. This was about audit mode. That's all I got.